Hello, and welcome to Rain's Cryptids, Myths, and Folklore. I'm your host, Rain. Today, we're going to talk about the Kraken. The Kraken is the largest monster to possibly exist in the ocean. Natural history of Norway has the Kraken as the largest sea monster in the world. Its name is derived from Norwegian descent. The Kraken was first described in 1700, but is described as looking like a fish, to which it probably was a large fish creature and not the Kraken. Now, the Kraken was written in account in 1180 by the King of Norway. The description of the Kraken has been described from a giant crab to starfish, but mostly a squid or octopus, at least a possible combination of them. I believe it was probably a hybrid of sorts or a completely original creature of its own with the possible chance of being a distant cousin to the squid or octopus. And some of the others could have been what they saw: a fish, a starfish, crab, and so on. I mean, things in this world were once giant-sized. All of it. So why not the ocean creatures too? It was so large that when it was at the surface, it looked like a giant landmass. Now, we must think the whales during this time period were enormous as well, so it is possible some of the sightings could have been whales. Also, it was described as an animal with many twisted arms that could pull down a ship. It would create a whirlpool if it dove down or even breached the surfaces. It had a knack for harassing ships, including official naval ones, stating it would attack vessels with its strong arms, and if this didn't work, it would swim in circles around the ship, creating a whirlpool to drag the vessel down. The area for the Kraken seemed to be from Norway through Iceland and all the way to Greenland, as stated in Nordic folklore. The Greenland Sea's deepest area is 4,846 miles down, and the Norwegian Sea's deepest area is 3,970 miles down. Definitely deep enough for an extra large cryptid. Some thought it had a craving for human flesh, but I think it's more that the ship was sized to a nice meal and is why it would attack. If you were attacking something that looked like a meal and found it wasn't, wouldn't you be angry about it? I mean, think about it. You're out hunting a deer and shoot it, only to find it was a dummy deer made of plastic. You're not going to be too happy. But if you were brave enough, when the Kraken came to the surface, it also caused the fish to surface as well, making it a great time to fish, unless the Kraken had set its eyes on your ship. Let's look back at the thought of it just being a giant squid. It's believed the giant squid only lives 5 years, and they don't process oxygen well in warm waters, which is why they stay in deep waters. But their lifespan is just a thought. The giant octopus lives 3 to 5 years. Not sure if that's factual, or they just think because most female octopuses starve themselves while watching over their eggs for 6 months. And the males are said to spend more time in the open ocean, which makes them easier targets for predators. We also really can't just say the Kraken is one or the other, but it could have been a hybrid of the both. It could have been even a hybrid of even different ones, like the octopus and some other extinct creature, or even a totally separate creature altogether. It wouldn't surprise me. There are many giant creatures that lived in the ocean that don't exist now, but at the same time, there have been many hybrids in the world, like werewolves, goatman, and mermaids. Some creatures' bones have been discovered. The spelling of this creature is up, and in a pattern similar to the way octopuses place the leftovers of their meals. They've even noted that one of the rib cages showed signs of constriction on it. This sea creature was up to 30 feet long. It's believed that the only reason the Kraken attacked ships was it was woken from its slumber by the ships. But I really believe it was because a nice huge ship would look more like a fat whale at the surface, and that looks tasty. I mean, really, a ship with sails making that much noise with the Kraken at those depths. Anyways, I have a poem that was written by Lord Alfred Tennyson. Tennyson is also the one that wrote the first version of The Lady of Shalott. This poem is called the Kraken. Below the thunders of the upper deep, far, far beneath in the abysmal sea, his ancient, dreamless, uninvaded sleep, the Kraken sleepeth. Faintest sunlights flee about his shadowy, above him swell, huge sponges of millennial growth and height, and far away into the sickly light, from many a wondrous grot and secret cell, unnumbered, an enormous polywinnow, with giant arms, the slumbering green. There hath he lain for ages, and will lie, battening upon huge sea worms in his sleep, until the latter fire shall heat the deep. Then once by man and angels to be seen, in roaring he shall rise on the surface die. The Kraken is definitely a memorable sea monster. I do believe the Kraken was a real cryptid in its day, but I also believe it might be extinct now, especially since we don't see it now. But of course, it could be hibernating too. I guess we won't know unless it wakes from the slumber it's in and rises once again, or not. Many believe that the Kraken did exist, and many don't, or just think it was just some giant squid or octopus. I believe it was neither, and it was a cryptid or a hybrid of multiple creatures. Either way, we should be thankful it is either gone or in a deep slumber. And that's what I have on the Kraken. Please like and subscribe. Share as well. And if you have any sightings of the Kraken or any other cryptid you would like to share, please email me. My email is below in the descriptions. Also, if you have a cryptid you would like me to do a video on, please comment or email me. Now, it's time for Superstition for Thought. And today's thought is breaking a mirror is bad luck. It's believed breaking a mirror was a bad omen, or would give you 7 years of bad luck, and was thought to symbolize the end of your relationship. Broken mirrors superstition has been around for centuries and can be traced to the ancient Romans. Romans believed that a broken mirror would give you 7 years of bad luck. It represented a broken soul. The ancient Romans believed that it was linked to the reflection and your self-identity. A mirror was seen as a way to see into one's soul, so breaking a mirror would mean you fractured one's soul. The Celtic superstition was similar, as your reflection represented your soul, and the mirror was considered a portal to the spirit world. So by breaking the mirror, you were breaking the portal which led to misfortune. Some of the meanings are the end or deterioration of a relationship, loss of good luck or fortune, a shattering self-image or sense of self, disruption in personal energy and vitality. It sucks, I know, but there are some ways to break that bad luck from a broken mirror, like spinning clockwise 3 times. Burying the piece is said to break bad luck. Ah, my favorite, throwing spilt salt over your left shoulder. Burning sage, replacing the mirror. Finding a 4-leaf clover, using charms and amulets for protection. Grinding the broken glass to a fine powder. Warning, though, on this one, that could be dangerous if inhaled. Leave the broken pieces for 7 hours. Some believe that it all began with seeing our reflection in the water, believing it was our soul in that reflection. Ancient myths believe that mirrors have magical powers, including the power to see the future, and are thought to be devices of the gods. So breaking a mirror would, therefore, be breaking its power. And that's what I found for this superstition for thought. So reflect upon yourself, but be wary not to break it. And if you do, remember, there's always a way to counter that bad luck. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.